It's the big news all across the country. It's the 2025 budget of restoration, securing peace, rebuilding prosperity. We brought you that live feed of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also the President of ECOWAS, at the National Assembly, where he presented the budget, speaking, of course, before the legislators, talking about Nigeria taking it towards sustainable growth and prosperity. We broke down the numbers on the morning show. We're going to break it down here. We're going to talk to our guest, Lade Fasua. He's a chartered accountant, economist, and public affairs analyst. He joins us now to discuss further. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. I just want to put up this. I want to get your thoughts here on the budget in dollar terms, if you want to share your thoughts. So we got a couple charts where we look at how much the budget is in Naira terms compared to 2024. So what is that? 66.4% growth there. Yep, in trillions, 47.9 versus 28.78. The revenue portion, 34.8 versus 19.6, 77% growth. And yes, the deficit is also bigger. However, in dollar terms, the numbers they fall. So the 31.9 billion 2025 dollars versus 38.3 billion in 2024, 16% fall there. The revenue also 11% lower. Sir, what are your thoughts, or as far as the observation of the 2025 budgets in Naira and USD terms? Did you want to share anything there?
Yeah, thank you very much. I must appreciate you for this, for putting the figures there, so it makes the job very easy. But you must first understand that when you look at the performance of the budget in the 2 years you have put forward for comparative analysis, in Naira terms, there are growth, increment in the budgeted spending. We had a 66.4% increase, which means where our budgeted spending for 2024 was 28 trillion, and now we're looking at 47.9 now. And for our revenue, a serious increase, 77.6 increase from 19.6 trillion to 34. And then what that actually shows is that now we've been able to make some considerable revenue generation vis-a-vis what we had in the last base year, which is a 2024 budget year. And then, but when you look at it in relation to the dollar, you see there is a decrease, which shows the fact that as at that time we were benchmarking at $800 to our Naira, but now dollar has actually two and that accounted for the decrease in the analysis, vis-a-vis the comparative analysis of the two figures in the two fiscal years. So as it is, it's just a reflection of what the two currencies are done in the last two fiscal terms.
Thank you so much. Now, the president did reel off some allocations. We're going to put that list as well. I wanted to get your thoughts on how impactful you think that's going to be. So I think we've got an allocation for security and defense, which is taking the lion's share. Then also infrastructure. So there we go. Defense and security, 4.91 trillion. Infrastructure, 4.06. Health, 2.48. And we have a guest on primary healthcare later on to talk about that. And then education. So as for looking at these allocations, you think there's going to be an impact?
Yes, I must tell you that a budget, it's an economic document, it's a financial document, it's a legal document. It is what the government has decided to say, this is where we are going in the forthcoming year. It's a decision of government to show the projection, to show the direction of government spending in the forthcoming year. So you expect serious impact based on this. I take defense and security, which it's usually takes the largest percentage of our spending. But you will see from the body language of Mr. President and at the presentation of at National Assembly, the position of government is to ensure that we want to make Nigeria safe, because we want to drive in foreign portfolio investment. want people to see Nigeria as a safe haven for their investment. And so security must be paramount. People must be, there must be the confidence in the mind of investors to say, okay, our investment is safe in this place. And so government is trying to develop human capital, bringing ammunition or whatever it is to keep our borders safe. And so for that figure, you should expect impact. You should expect positive impact going into the new year. And look at infrastructure. You are aware that there are critical road projects, there are rail projects, there are a lot of projects that are critical to infrastructural development that this government is undertaking. And government is a continuum. It must continue to go. And then government trying to now budget 4.06 trillion naira into infrastructure development. It's a statement to government readiness to drive the economy, because one of the things you get when you spend is that you create what we call aggregate demand. You encourage people to get involved, to create jobs and all of that. And so you expect impact. I'm more excited about what is happening in education. You see, for the first time, we're seeing allocation for education rivaling what we used to have for defense, and it's a welcome development. It means the government has come to see that there must be sizable investment in education, because education is very critical to developing any economy. And our own economy, as it is, we really need to put in sizable investment there, and then to turn it over. So I am impressed, and I'm hopeful, and I expect that the impact that we're going to get from this spending in the forthcoming year is going to be very positive.
Okay, great. Now, the thing is this, though. There is the worry about debts. If you add up those allocations, they all come out to about 14.9 trillion naira. Just the four items we looked at: defense, infrastructure, health, and so on. The debts there, yeah, so thank you, health and education, all that, you add that up is 14.9 trillion. The debt servicing for 2025 is 15 trillion naira. So it exceeds all four of these line items we're looking at. How worried are you about how the debt servicing and how much of it makes up is going to impact the execution of the budget?
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, let me first put it to you that there is nothing negative or anything worrisome about having a budget deficit. It's the position of government to look at it and say, okay, this is our expected spending, and this is the expected revenue that we're trying to generate. And when you put that side by side, you have a deficit. And government has come forward to say, we are going to finance this deficit by local and international borrowing, which to me, it's not something that should raise a red alert. Okay, because if you look at the total deficit here, which is about 13.083 trillion, it's not up to 4% of our GDP. And so it's not something to for anybody to lose sleep over. Now, when you look at how are we going to ensure that the debt servicing does not impact project implementation? Of course, it's very simple. Now, you look at the revenue that we're trying to look at. The revenue that we're trying to generate is 34.82 trillion. And then we're looking at financing our deficit at 13.08. Government is looking at it, and if you look at that, that's just about 45.4%. So it's not something to really worry about. When you juxtapose this vis-a-vis government decision to invest critically in the critical sector of the economy, infrastructure, and all of that, because this is going to actually create jobs. It's going to help us reflect the economy as it is, and it's going to create aggregate demand. So you're going to have the multiplier effect of all of this in the economy going forward. So I do not see this debt servicing, even though it's at 15 trillion, above the critical, or sorry, the major lines item in the budget, it's not something that is going to make us lose sleep going forward.
All right, look, we are out of time, Mr. Fasua, but my producer is telling me we got to end the interview now. But quickly, the parameters. You just got 30 seconds. Inflation at 15%, we're at 34.6. Can we get that down there? There's a lot of doubts with respect to that. Can you quickly talk about the parameters of the budget?
Yes. Yes, we were expecting to do 2.06 million barrel per day at $75 per barrel at exchange rate of $1,500 to a barrel to the naira. I can understand people have expressed skepticism that how we're going to bring inflation from that figure to 15%. It's achievable. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's achievable because government owes all the key parameters to actually drive down inflation. Government is the one that's going to bring out the monetary policy, the fiscal policy, and all of the policies that are going to make or control, as it is, the market forces. All of these are going to help us drive down the inflation. So going forward, I think this budget, as its name, is a budget of restoration, and it's going to serve the base for us to, have a robust economy going forward.
Mr. Lade Fasua, thank you so much for your time. Chartered accountant, public affairs analyst, economist, joining us from our studios in Abuja.